whole lot of literature on the consequences of domestic violence for women, for children. We know that children who grew up in families, where they witness violence are more likely to be perpetrators of violence. And those exposure to violence, it affects their educational experiences. I'm just talking about not within marriage, just the family violence. And they are likely to be irregular in school. They are likely to be discontinuing, and that leads to where your productivity is going to be. And when we look at violence within marriage kind of thing, there's a study which was done by ICRW long ago, which shows that every incident of a violence costs about 800 rupees as a lost wage. And if you include the housework which was not done, it goes to 1,000, but I believe the housework is costed at a much lower level. And even the treatment cost is, a birth incident is about 1,000 rupees. And imagine, our study, for example, recent study shows that young women who experience violence in the last 1 year is about more than half of the women in the state of Bihar. And we don't have a quantification of the number of incidents. But if you put that number against this particular cause, which
50%,
was...
50%, you mean?
Yes, in the last 1 year, either physical or sexual violence.
In Bihar?
Yes.
The highest in the country.
And this is despite, when we looked at NFHS 3 and 4, Bihar showed a much faster decline, like 57 to 44, it came down overall for the women. But it's still among the young women. This is a very recent, we just finished the data collection in July this year. We followed the same cohort. So it does affect their productivity. It does affect the children they give birth. There is a nutritional implication of that. And the children who witness this end up, be a perpetrator too. So it is an intergenerational transmission of, negative outcomes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the perspective, because oftentimes, I have anecdotally heard that people say that this is a domestic matter, do solve it, within the confinement for your home, but the economic cost associated with domestic violence, and I'm surprised to learn that 50% women in the past 1 year in Bihar has experienced domestic violence. So the economic cost of that would be really, really high. And since it perpetuates, because it creates negative imagery on the children who probably see it, and then they might become the perpetrator of violence later.